So curious to know some of the other transformative peak experiences, technologies, inner technologies that you've come across really help you open your eyes to see blind spots, to elevate your consciousness. Let's talk about
Mm.
that.
By far, the most powerful one I found is working with my own coach because in a committed, ongoing relationship. Because what will happen with me, first of all, I created myself as a man who doesn't need support. That's how because that works for living from your head up. Everything's controlled, managed. I got this. I don't need your support. You won't see me vulnerable. And so the way I tend to be about support, even when I do allow it, is I get it when I need it. And then I'm like, now I'm good. And so one of the things, it's funny, we're talking about technologies. The technology, the first one is commitment to ongoing support. So
Mm,
every week I know I'm in a call with my coach. And what's fascinating is when you start to commit to that kind of ongoing support, one of the first things me and my people will learn is that we've been living a life that doesn't require much support. Oh, this is the life I can create on my own. And there's a much bigger game to create, like to play in my life, that I can't do without that kind of support. And so it
mm,
requires me to lean out over the edge in ways I just wouldn't do by myself because they wouldn't be possible by myself.
mm,
So
mm,
that's the first one. And then like modalities I've been exploring lately, I've been drawn to plant medicines. So ayahuasca, I've sat in ceremony a few times. And what I find with ayahuasca is it provides an incredibly profound insight, and you're doing some real work for however many days you're sitting in ceremony. The danger is we don't often invest in the ongoing support after that. So, like we talked at the top of this conversation, we can get pushed back to our old way of being, but that is pretty potent. And the third thing I'll share is coming out of that, I felt drawn to more like indigenous teachings. So, like the shaman, I guess I was working with for a while, for about most of last year, was a combination of Incan teachings, First Nations here on the west coast of Canada,
I'm
and
sorry, what did you say? Inca? Huh?
Incan teachings, like from Peru or
Mm,
that area, and then a lot of First Nations from the west coast of Canada and stuff like that. And just like the wisdom that's been around for millennia
mm,
that we're just starting to pay some heed to, really.
There's a lot to unpack, so let's do it one by one, if you don't mind. So your coach is part of your championship team, right?
Yes.
What are the criteria that you've used as a way to choose your coach?
Yeah, so I look to their being. What that means is not do I think this person knows how to sell a product, or do I think this person's good at creating clients, or do I think this person's not so much their results, but is the way they occur to me as a human in front of me, do I feel a depth of being? Do they feel really fully expressed? Is there a way that I feel with them that inspires me? That's what I want from a coach, someone who's got a lot of depth. And then the other thing is a little bit of intimidation. So this
Mm,
coach I'm working with now, I can remember she did a guest spot in the year-long training I took, and she really pissed me off because we were going through spirituality this weekend, and I was having a challenge answering a question. At one point, she just casually, she was working the whole room, and she was like, "How about you? Are you going to play with us or not?" I was like, "Fuck you. I'm struggling here. What are you talking about?" And in that
awesome.
question, she just was not giving my struggle the significance that I was.
Mm,
She was asking a question, was like, "Hey, you don't have to struggle in this. Just show up." And I was like,
mm,
"No, but the struggle is real. You don't understand." And that pissed me off. And so when we've been working together now for maybe 4, maybe even 5 years, and at the start I told her, like, "Hey, I gotta tell you, you really pissed me off at the start." And so that's a little bit there. And she was really gracious about it and just like, "Oh, wow, I get that. What do you like? What do you need from me?" She cleaned it up really beautifully and gave me the space to share all of that. So those are the things I really want from a coach, is like full expression, a being that's inspiring, and a little bit of intimidation.